Hello and welcome to Croton-Harmon Station. Today we're going to be taking a ride on Metro North's Hudson Line from here down to Grand Central Terminal. Located on the east bank of the Hudson River, just south of Croton-on-Hudson, Croton-Harmon serves as a mid-sized commuter and intercity rail hub for the lower Hudson Valley. In addition to Metro North, Croton-Harmon is served by Amtrak's Adirondack, Empire Service, Ethan Allen Express, Maple Leaf, Lakeshore Limited, and, as of July of last year, the Berkshire Flyer. The station building is small but functional. Passengers are met with a ticket desk when entering the station, with a few Metro North ticket machines off to one side. Tapping through the prompts, we can purchase our ticket down to Grand Central. Our off-peak ticket this morning cost $11.25. Not super cheap, but not unreasonable. The departure board in the waiting area shows that our train, Hudson Line number 854, was running a few minutes behind schedule, with an estimated departure time of 11:44 a.m. Despite its small size, the station still features a full-service cafe for waiting passengers. Though the displays aren't full, there are still plenty of options for those looking for something light. The weather outside today was perfect, so I headed out to Platform 1 to wait for our train. On the west side of the platforms is Metro North's Harmon Yard, a service and storage point for Hudson Line stock. Croton-Harmon is also where electrification of the Hudson Line ends, with almost all electric Hudson Line trains originating or terminating here, hence the multiple M7 sets in the yard. Our off-peak departure means that there isn't a ton of action for us to enjoy, but we do get a few trains here and there. First up is terminating northbound service number 721, operated by 4 Bombardier M7 EMUs. Following close behind is none other than one of New York's trash trains. Leading the trash train today is CSX 6214, an EMD GP40-2 running long hood forward. In tow are 2 GE AC 4400 CWs, number 474 and 488. The trash train ships garbage out of New York to waste plants around the Northeast and Midwest. With no space to store the immense amount of garbage created every day, the only real option for the Big Apple is to ship it to larger facilities that can handle that much trash. As the trash train continues to trundle north, our third and final train pulls in. Metro North number 821 to Poughkeepsie slows to a stop, led by P32 ACDM number 221. While we wait these final few minutes ahead of our departure, let's take a look at our route down to Grand Central Terminal. We'll start out heading south out of Croton-Harmon, cruising through Scarborough and under the Governor Cuomo Bridge as we make our way south. The tracks follow the east bank through Yonkers before we split off east, Amtrak's Empire connection continuing south. We run between I-87 and the Harlem River to 138th Street, meeting up with the Harlem and New Haven lines before heading across to Manhattan Island. It's a straight shot down Park Avenue from there, our train heading underground before arriving at Grand Central Terminal. We'll cover just under 32.5 miles on today's ride, with a travel time of 55 minutes. Just as anticipated, our train pulls in a few minutes behind schedule. Because the garbage train was taking its sweet time, our train was moved to track 3, so it was a bit of a sprint to get here before departure. Our train squeals to a halt and we can climb aboard. The last of the passengers board and our train rolls out of Croton-Harmon. Our train this morning is running a push-pull consist, which means individual coaches instead of EMUs. The cab car we're seated in today is number 6317, a Shoreliner 4 manufactured by Bombardier in the late 90s and early 2000s. Seating on board Metro North Shoreliners is quite basic, with individual rows providing only 2 inches of legroom with minimal space beneath each seat to stretch out. Our row doesn't include an outlet, but there is one located on the front row of the other side of the train. Also found up front is a water dispenser. I'm not sure if it's actually for passengers, but I'll bet you could use it if you really need it. In front of us is a group of 4, which looks virtually identical to any other set of seats found on commuter trains in the US. The only real issue here is that there's no window for this set, so only sit here if it's the last possible option. Our engineer covers the miles, putting us back on schedule by the time we pull into Ossining. Picking up speed out of Ossining, we can take a look at my favorite feature of these cab cars, the cab view. Unfortunately, Metro North has installed a distortion film over the innermost window, making it difficult to truly enjoy the cab ride, but hey, it's better than nothing. If you're enjoying the video so far, why not hit that subscribe button? It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. If you want to go the extra mile with your support, then feel free to check out the channel's Patreon or become a channel member. Patrons and members get their names in the video, access to exclusive weekly posts, and even the opportunity to vote on future videos. If those perks sound interesting to you, then click the link in the top right or the description below to learn more. The front window may have a distortion film, but the side windows are as clear as day, the right side of the train providing a fantastic view of the Hudson River and the West Bank beyond. Metro North Shoreliners are operated in a 2x3 layout, with the typical bench seats, much like their Comet coach cousins. From back here, we also find another passenger amenity, luggage racks, positioned along either side of the train. At the center of each Shoreliner 4 is an accessible bathroom, the door of which is deciding not to cooperate. The bathroom itself is basic but clean. There's the usual toilet, sink basin and countertop, soap and hand sanitizer dispenser, and an electric hand dryer. The sink worked, although not terribly well, with plenty of soap and hand sanitizer in their respective dispensers. The hand dryer also worked well, with about half a roll of toilet paper next to the toilet. Of all the commuter rail bathrooms I've been in, it's not great, but it's certainly not terrible. Right as we step back out into our coach, our train rolls to a stop in Tarrytown, one of only a handful of stations on our ride today. Returning to our seat, our conductor comes through to speak with the engineer, the automatic door staying open for a bit and providing us with a sneak peek at the controls before rolling closed once more. Speeds on the Hudson Line top out at 79, with our train cruising down the East Bank at around 70 miles an hour. As we enjoy our ride down the Hudson River, let's take a look at some stats about our train. Taking us down to Grand Central today is Metro North Hudson Line number 854, and is powered by one of Metro North's GE Genesis P32 ACDMs. P32 ACDMs are a variant of the more widely used P42DC and are outfitted with equipment for dual-mode power. These locomotives can run with the onboard GE 7FDL V12 diesel engine or use electric power from the third rail AC pickup on electrified territory. These modes power their electric traction motors, which produce a total of 3,200 horsepower. The combination of dual-mode AC power pickup and 3,200 horsepower is where these locomotives get their names of P32 ACDM. The Hudson Line runs a total of 74 miles between New York and Poughkeepsie. Total travel time between the two termini comes in at around 1 hour and 45 minutes, serving 29 stations along the way. Returning to our position at the cab door, our train passes Locomotive 101, an EMD GP35R, before a northbound Hudson Line train makes its way past. Off to the right is Amtrak's Empire Connection, splitting off to continue down the Hudson River before an eastbound arrival into Penn Station. We meet up with the tracks of the Harlem and New Haven lines a few minutes later, our train then crossing the Harlem River Lift Bridge into Manhattan. Our penultimate stop comes at Harlem 125th Street. The 4-track station is the only station, aside from Grand Central, to serve all 3 lines east of the Hudson. We dip down into the tunnels below Manhattan after leaving 125th Street, and a few minutes later, our train comes to a stop at Grand Central Terminal. As we make our way off the train and inside Grand Central, we can bring today's video to a close. Next week, we've got a fun one. Getting between Greensboro and Raleigh is easy, right? All it takes is a quick ride on the Piedmont and you're there. But what if I told you there's another way? A much longer way. Anyways, if you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. I also want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my patrons and channel members. Y'all are amazing and I cannot thank you enough for your incredible support. If you too want your name in the video or just want to support the channel in more ways than one, then head on over to the links in the description below. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me and I'll see you in the next one.